In November 2019, this country elected a president with a massive mandate. 6.9 million people voted, 52% vote base. Then on the 5th August this year, we bettered it. The number of people voted was 6.8 million, but the percentage was 59%. That means we have a government very democratically elected. As you all know, no violence, no cheating, no issue whatsoever. A very peaceful transition of power. And now we have started our work. We have inherited an economy which, as all of you know, a difficult one. An economy where the growth rate had already declined. When we came to power, the growth rate had come down to 2.3%. And then we were hit by COVID, as the rest of the world experienced. So whilst the entire world is suffering from this, we too have to go through this pain. So this year, whatever happened, we understand this was because of this reality. So despite all these things, you may agree with me, ours is a country which managed the COVID situation much better compared to many other countries. And we actually showed the effectiveness of the management. There, I would like to mention one thing, why we were able to do so. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and I worked together for a very, very long period. Whilst we were in the government, we were both government officers. Then we were both in opposition. I was very close to him when we were building Vietnam organization. So we share similar values. He's someone who always believed in technocracy. He used to say this country must be managed by technocrats, not by politicians. But that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen that way. You know, we have to live with politicians. But he tried his best to bring technocrats into his government. How did he do that? First of all, when he came to power, he changed the way we appoint senior officers to government institutes. The practice earlier had been, we always put people into senior positions because they were politically involved. They were selected based on political affiliations. Always the minister decided who becomes the chairman of an institute that functions under him. So he changed the system. For the first time, a committee was appointed to pick people for the high posts. I was a member of that committee. And we were not influenced by anybody for greater part of that. I can't say 100%, but for greater part, we were able to pick the right people and place those people in senior positions in the government. And that paid off when the COVID-19 situation arose, where we had good people in the team who were professionals, who could take professional decisions and who could act fast. And even in the government, he wanted few of us who were with him, professionals, to contest the election. I was one of them who was asked to contest. So I contested one of the largest districts in the country, Gampha district. And I became first with 325,000 plus votes. And for the national list also, he picked some of his close people who were professionals. And some of those people are now given ministerial responsibilities. Why I mention this is to show how President is trying to change the system. It's a difficult journey, but he has begun that. So now what he's expecting is, if these people who are brought in from outside the normal political system perform well, then that will pave way for future politicians like them. So we are trying our best to make that difference in our ministries, in our areas, and we seek your support to do that. On the other hand, because most of us come from private sector. For example, I was in the private sector for 20 years. Madam Ambassador, I was dealing with companies who were involved with exports to America, USA, for a very long period. So we understand your language. We understand your issues. So we are all ready to support you when you have your problems. When you look at the current country situation, why for 70 years, we have not developed like Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, or those countries. We identify a few basic problems. the too much of political interference into managing the affairs, particularly into business matters. And that is what has caused so much chaos in the system. We experienced that very well during the last 5 years, how political instability can create economic problems. You all know that, you all would agree to that. Last 5 years, there was no policy consistency, there were divided leadership, and the country went into chaos. And it is not only the last 5 years, even before, we experienced that one way or the other. So we are trying to change that. We are trying to bring order into the system. We respect the law. We respect the judiciary. We respect all those principles of good governance. Though our government is not called good governance government, I think we have a system which will have much better governance than the previous government, because we respect the law. We respect the system. We respect professionalism. And one thing we understand which has prevented us progressing is huge amount of corruption that we saw everywhere in the system. Corruption is not limited to politicians. Corruption is everywhere. We experience that mostly not at political level, even below. And that is one thing that President is very keen to change. That is something that we are trying our best to change. And just look back last 1 year or so period that new president has been governing the country. You don't hear major scandals like earlier. You don't hear corruption complaints like earlier, because we are very strict on that. We are trying to control that. But we have a lot more things to do to improve the situation. And we believe we need to bring technology to support us. So we are trying to bring technology to every area of government. That will be difficult. It won't happen that fast. But we try our best to do that. And we expect your support also to do that. In our economic policy, basically there are 4 areas that we are very focused on. First one is elimination of poverty. All these years we have been talking about that. But the poverty is everywhere. So how do you eliminate poverty? We need to identify the root causes and find solutions for that. I'm not trying to take too much time explaining, but that is one thing that President is very keen to do. Go to the root causes, solve those things. Eliminate the reasons for poverty. If we do that, we believe we can find a solution for that. Second one is giving equal opportunities for everybody. Starting from education, employment opportunities, opportunities to do business, everywhere. Get rid of favoritism, get rid of corruption. Give opportunity for anybody who wants to develop and grow. So this is the second aspect of our economic policy. Third one, clean and efficient government. I mentioned that earlier also. The government has to be efficient, the government has to be clean. To make the government efficient, you have to have the right people at the right places. To make it clean, we take action. We take action against who are corrupt. We are going to do that, and we will do that. And we will not think twice to take action on those people. Then the last one is supporting the local entrepreneurship. I think this is very important, because our country is not an entrepreneurial country compared to other countries. I mean, you know, you are dealing with countries like USA. The entrepreneurship is everywhere. That is encouraged, that is taught, but it is not here. Only very few people have really become entrepreneurs. Others just seek jobs. They prefer to do government jobs. And we have to change this mindset. We need to train people, we need to support people to become entrepreneurs. And we need to create opportunities for local entrepreneurs. When you say local entrepreneurs, we are not talking about going back to 1970s era. We have to deal with the world. We have to encourage investment, we have to encourage trade. But we need to encourage our local entrepreneurs to get into those businesses and to do well, deal with their foreign counterparts. So that's the fourth aspect of our economic, more or less, framework, I would say. So in that, I think you have a great opportunity. We will do our best to support you. We will try to eliminate this red tape. We will try to improve the systems, give you approvals and other things, whatever the support you want. For example, I run a ministry, which was earlier Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa's ministry when he was the Secretary to the Urban Development. Now he has given me a ministry which a wider scope. And most of the investments, foreign investments, will have to do something with my ministry. So I think I have an opportunity to help you. When you look for land, when you look for approvals, most of the institutes who are involved come under my ministry. So we are determined to set an example. We are determined to make a difference so that the other ministries will also follow. So I encourage you, go and invite your friends to come and invest in this country. Tell them not to worry. Tell them things have changed. Show the experience. Show what has happened during the last 1 year. Show them the way we manage COVID. So tell them not to underestimate us. Even though Moody's has downgraded us, we are not going to default our debts. We have never defaulted our debts. We will not. This country has never failed. We won a war which nobody thought we could. We are a very resilient nation. And we will come out of this crisis also. So somebody put us into an economic mess, we will get out of that. And we know how to do that. So be confident. We can do that with your support, and we expect our foreign counterparts also to have confidence in us and support us. If they do, we will do well.